What if I told you that a tiny owl, barely bigger than your fist, has been running the same disgusting trick on insects for thousands of years, and scientists just figured out exactly how it works? Buckle up, because this is one of the weirdest, grossest, most genius hunting strategies in the entire animal kingdom. Hey everyone, welcome back, and today we are talking about burrowing owls. Now, you might think you know owls. Big eyes, silent wings, turning their heads all the way around. Spooky birds that hunt at night. Yeah. But burrowing owls are playing a completely different game. A smarter game. A much smellier game. Let me set the scene. You are a dung beetle. Life is good, you are cruising along, you smell something amazing. Well, amazing to you. And you follow your nose straight toward the source. You are zeroing in on what you think is a fresh pile of poop. Jackpot, right? Except then, out of nowhere, a tiny owl explodes out of a hole in the ground and eats you alive. You've been tricked. You've been absolutely bamboozled by a bird the size of a coffee mug. That is what burrowing owls do. And the fact that they do it has been known for a while. But scientists just cracked open something way more surprising. It is not just that the owls use poop as bait. It is how they use it, why it works so well, and just how sophisticated this whole operation actually is. Let us break it down. First, who are burrowing owls? These birds live in North America and South America, mostly in open grasslands and deserts. Unlike basically every other owl on the planet, they live underground. They dig burrows or move into old ones made by prairie dogs or tortoises. They are active during the day, which is already weird for an owl. They are tiny, about 9 inches tall. They have long legs, which gives them this hilarious bouncy walk. And they have big yellow eyes that stare right into your soul. They are also, it turns out, criminal masterminds when it comes to trapping insects. Here is the trick. Burrowing owls collect animal dung, poop from mammals, from other animals, whatever they can find. And they deliberately scatter it around the entrance to their burrow. Like, they go out, find poop, carry it back, and decorate their front yard with it, on purpose. Scientists have known since the 1970s that they do this. But here is where it got interesting. Researchers started asking the obvious question. Does the poop actually work? Like, does it genuinely attract more insects than a normal burrow entrance without any bait? So they ran a test. They compared burrow entrances where the owls had laid down dung bait versus burrow entrances where they removed the dung. And the result was not even close. The burrows with the dung bait caught way more dung beetles. Specifically dung beetles. The trap was targeted. It was deliberate. It was specific. Here is surprising fact number 1. Burrowing owls actually prefer dung beetles as prey during breeding season. The timing of the trap matches the time of year when the owls need the most food, when they have chicks to feed. These owls are not just randomly using poop. They are deploying a biological lure to catch a specific high-calorie food source exactly when they need it most. That is not instinct running on autopilot. That is sophisticated behaviour. Here is surprising fact number 2, and this one will blow your mind. Scientists recently discovered that the owls are selective about the type of dung they use. Not all poop is equal, apparently. Some kinds of animal waste attract more beetles than others, and the owls seem to know this. They are out there basically choosing their bait. They are picking the best lure for the best results. A fishing pro who knows exactly which lure works on which fish in which season has nothing on a 9-inch owl, choosing the optimal poop to put in front of its underground apartment. Now here is where it gets even more wild. The question scientists kept wrestling with was, choices. Is this actually tool use? Because tool use in animals is a huge deal. Crows use tools, chimpanzees use tools, dolphins have been known to use sponges, but owls using environmental materials to lure prey. That would be a massive discovery in how we understand bird intelligence. The debate is still ongoing, but researchers are leaning toward, yes, burrowing owls are using dung as a functional tool, a lure, in a deliberate, goal-directed way. They collect it. They transport it. They place it strategically. They seem to understand that the bait causes a result. That is a lot of cognitive steps for a tiny bird with a brain the size of a grape. Surprising fact number 3. Burrowing owls do not just eat beetles. They eat scorpions, lizards, small rodents, other birds, frogs, and even small snakes. They are ferocious tiny predators. But during breeding season, beetles can make up a really significant portion of their diet. and the dung trap is specifically timed to cash in on beetle activity. This is seasonal, targeted, strategic hunting, like setting up a hot dog cart right outside a baseball stadium the moment the game ends. Now here is something that really surprised the researchers. When scientists removed the dung from burrow entrances in their experiments, the owls went out and replaced it. Pretty quickly, they noticed it was gone, and they fixed the problem. They restocked their trap. That level of response, noticing something changed, understanding it matters, actively correcting it, tells us something really important about what is going on inside that tiny feathered head. Surprising fact number 4. Burrowing owls actually communicate with each other through calls that mimic rattlesnakes. When a predator gets near the burrow, the owl inside makes a hissing, buzzing sound that sounds terrifyingly like a rattler. Predators hear it and leave. This bird is not just smart about hunting. It is smart about defense too. It has multiple strategies running at the same time. Lure the beetles in, scare the coyotes away, all from one underground base of operations. Think about that whole picture for a second. This owl wakes up, checks on its bait pile, replaces any that went missing, hunts beetles that came in overnight, feeds its babies, and if anything threatening shows up, it does its best rattlesnake impression until the danger passes. That is a full tactical day. That is not just an animal doing things. That is a creature managing its environment. Surprising fact number 5. Baby burrowing owls, called owlets, are already bold little characters from day one. They emerge from the burrow super early and stand around outside near the entrance, which is genuinely unusual for baby birds. Most baby birds hide. Burrowing owlet chicks just stand there, out in the open, being tiny and fluffy and ridiculous. Scientists think this helps the parents because the chicks can eat insects that wander near the burrow, basically helping feed themselves while mum and dad hunt. Teamwork starting at basically birth. So what does all of this mean? What is the big picture here? What scientists are discovering is that animal intelligence works in a lot of different ways. We tend to think about smart animals as the big ones with the big brains. Dolphins, elephants, apes. But intelligence can show up in small packages, doing extremely specific things incredibly well. The burrowing owl is not solving math problems. It figured out one specific trick, the dung bait trap, and it executes it with real sophistication. It chooses the right bait. It monitors the bait. It restocks the bait. It times the bait to match the prey cycle. That is a chain of smart decisions that adds up to something genuinely impressive. And the reason scientists are so excited right now is because this is one of the clearest examples we have found in birds of what looks like deliberate lure-based hunting. It changes how we think about the cognitive abilities of owls specifically and birds generally. These animals are not just running on pure instinct. Something more interesting is happening in there. All from a tiny owl, living in a hole in the ground, surrounded by poop it put there on purpose. Nature is wild. The burrowing owl is out here with a 9-inch body and outsmarting insects, intimidating coyotes, and teaching scientists something new about animal minds. Not bad for a bird that looks like it got its legs from a completely different animal. So here is what I want to know from you. If you were an animal and you could use one creative trick to catch your food, what would your trap look like? Drop it in the comments. Let us see who comes up with the most creative hunting strategy. And hey, maybe one of you will think of something even weirder than a pile of strategic poop. Probably not, but try.